Hello, everyone, and welcome to our reading today. We are looking at Crystal Angels Oracle cards by Doreen Virtue. This is a really old deck. I've had this for a long time, probably like 9, 10 years. I know it's been a while, but this is the guidebook. It's pretty much like all the other guidebooks. This deck is by Hay House, so the cards are really nice stock. I don't know if this is still in print or not because she doesn't do cards anymore. So if you find this, it might be individually sold. I don't know if it's still sold with Hay House or not, to be honest with you. But I had studied under Radley Valentine and her. Um, I was more towards Radley Valentine with my studies. I gravitated more towards his towards him, but I know she and him had worked together on many different Oracle decks and tarot decks and things like that. So um, this is her deck, and it is an older deck, but we are going to do a reading and see what it is that your guidance is telling you today. So let's take a look at our closing card. I feel like that top one wants to be our closing card. How is everybody? I hope everybody is having a good day. I hope everybody is doing great. Thank you so much for being here. It is an honor to do your readings. I'm very grateful to be able to do your readings. And let's get started. Okay, so our first card is Rodashus. Oh my goodness, I can't even say that word. Rhodochrosites? I don't know. You can correct me in the comments. I'm not sure how you say that, but you are being reminded to be gentle with yourself. You've been through a lot and need time to heal and recover. Yes. Yes. I think we all have our own story, right? But don't ever think that your story isn't as important as somebody else's. A lot of times we don't take the time to heal because we're so busy trying to heal everyone else. So this card is reminding you that be gentle with yourself in the process. Don't hold yourself against all of the mistakes that you've made. It's okay to make mistakes, right? Even the smartest people in the world, why are they the smartest people in the world? Because they made mistakes, right? They learned and they kept going back and doing it again and again until they didn't make any more mistakes, right? So don't don't hold yourself too negative, right? Don't look at everybody else as don't look at everybody else and forgive everybody else, but hold yourself beyond accountable, right? Love yourself, forgive yourself, tell yourself that you are learning, you are growing, you are love, you are lovable, right? Things happen, situations happen. Nobody's perfect. People make mistakes, and people that hurt you, chances are if you do your homework, you're going to find out that they've been hurt too, or they come from a family that hurts or something. So don't give your power away. Don't allow yourself to hate people for situations that they've done, and then they're walking around and you're hating. So that hate that you're walking around carrying is affecting you. It's not affecting them, it's affecting you. It's affecting them in a way because there's an energetic cord attached to you and that person, and they're feeding off of that energy because you're mad at them and they're feeding off of that. But you got to tell yourself that I call my energy back to me. I'm going to release and I'm going to heal from this situation, right? I'm not going to give my energy to this situation anymore. It is done. It is over. It is beyond my control, and I'm going to let it go, right? That's what this card is telling you. Heal and recover and release so that you can become who you're meant to be without that energy holding you back, okay? So, Angelite, spiritual or religious community. Join with like minded people for friendship and increased spiritual growth. Okay, so I'm going to say this just on myself, my own personal being. Is this focusing in? There we go. On my own personal experiences. This I understand for some of you, it can be really hard, right? The spiritual or religious community, it can be really hard to join the like-minded people, right? I totally get it. I know that we're not on a live, but I can already hear what you're saying. Like, I understand that it is not as easy as it sounds. That some of you live in a community where there are people around you that push their religions, push their beliefs. They might not even be able to even understand certain questions that you ask, or even be willing to answer certain questions that you ask, because they feel more intimidated than curious, you know? So, like, I understand, and where I live, it is um it's not that people aren't open to different spirituality, religious beliefs, things like that. There are a lot of people that are open to all of that, right? But there's not a lot of people open to talk about it. So, like, that's the difference. Like, you can be around, you could be in a room full of like-minded people that have the same beliefs as you. Oh, that don't make sense, this don't make sense. Oh, I don't do this, or I don't believe in that. But they don't speak it because maybe they still go to a certain religious church, or maybe it's just they're the way that they're brought up, their parents wouldn't be very happy, like, so you might just have a hard time actually getting together and actually talking to people. They can say, "Oh yeah, I totally relate to everything you're saying. I get this, I get that." But but they're not willing to talk about it. So you can be surrounded by people but still feel alone, right? There's there are some people who are just in situations where, unfortunately, there's not a lot of people that can relate to the spiritual the spiritual understanding of things, and versus the religious understanding of things. Not everybody wants to do their homework. The best thing I can tell you to do is know who you can talk to and who you can't. Certain topics are probably not good to speak with certain people on. And be very careful with going on like Facebook and things and joining these groups with certain religious beliefs or spiritual beliefs, or I hate to say, like, I'm not trying to downplay the groups or anything. I think the groups are great and everything, if you find the right group. But some of these groups, they're created and they have thousands of members, and there's nobody really monitoring the group. Because there's so many people in the group, nobody's really monitoring the group. And there's people in the group who are arguing with people for speaking their truth. Okay, if you're going to be in a group that's supposed to support you, but yet somebody is arguing with you because they disagree with you, then that's really not what the group is supposed to be for, right? You should be able to speak your free will, and the person that you're speaking it with should be able to understand where you're coming from. And if they can't understand, then be open to understanding that your way is different than their way of thinking, right? But it doesn't mean that you're wrong. So just be mindful, because some of these groups, they do carry harsh energy, and people can send the whole group harsh energy. And sometimes you could feel this energy and not even know why you're feeling this, and it could be because you're connected to a group of people, or you're connected to a group, and somebody is sending the whole entire group just really bad energy, and you're able to pick up on it. So just be mindful. I know I ended up having to leave a lot of these groups. I right away when I was on my spiritual path and I finally understood why I was never able to connect to any true religion myself. Like, I went to church growing up. I went to different religious churches growing up, just to, experience, different paths. And none of them ever felt right. None of them ever felt like I was supposed to be there. It just didn't feel right. And so I understand why, because mine was more spiritual, and I understood later on about the whole religious part. But that has made me have a lot of discernment. So, but at the beginning, I didn't really have a lot of discernment, and I was just so curious about everything that I didn't have a lot of discernment. And sometimes you can get around people that make you think that they're spiritual, but they are harsh energies. So just be careful. Make sure that the like-minded people are actually the like-minded people, right? And you're going to find out in this friendship and energy here, in this friendship energy here, that you might go in with 20 people and come out with two, right? So not everyone is going to be on the level that you're looking for. And that doesn't mean that they're on the wrong level. It just means that they're not on your level, right? There's many different levels of spiritual communication and abilities here. And so that's kind of like what this is saying, okay? Is you're going to have to go out there and be observant. You're going to have to be um, you're going to have discernment, and you're going to have to be willing to walk away from certain people so that you can welcome other ones, right? So because the universe is going to tell you who to leave, who to hold on to, who to walk away from, so that you are able to move into the direction that the universe is guiding you to move into, with the right energy meant to come into your path. So yellow jasper, we have control issues. Utilize your God given strength and power instead of fearing that others may try to control you. Okay, so let go of the illusion of other people controlling you, because in all reality, if somebody is controlling you, it is because you are giving that power away. Okay, what can you do to pull your power back? What can you do to pull your inner guidance, your inner heart energy back? What can you do to align with your true, authentic self? Pray, go into meditation, take time out to set with yourself and understand your energy and how you're feeling. What's going on within your heart? What's going on within your mind, right? That's all about the given the strength and the power, okay? Fear, why is there fear? Who do you fear? Is it you that you fear? Is it life that you fear? Is it a person that you fear? Is it a decision that you fear? Where is that fear energy coming from? And is it valid? You know, a lot of times our fear energy is actually invalid energy. It's not even real. A lot of times we manifest it in our mind's eye or in our worries, right? And or somebody manifests it for us. You know, somebody will feed us fear. A lot of times, you know, we sit down and we are fed fear, especially if you like watch the news, or if you are certain religions, they really put a lot of fear-based energy in there. So just be aware of how you are controlling your issues, right? Control issues often start within. So a lot of these issues can start within. Okay, so pay attention to your own control issues, and pay attention to if it's something that you can change, or if it's something that's being affected. You know, there's always a cause and reaction. You know, so what are you doing that's causing a reaction? What is the reaction doing what is the cause at you that's causing the reaction within you, like that, you know, vice versa. Pay attention to your inside first, because that's what you can control. And then how you control the inside is going to help control the outside. Okay, that's really important. Your control issues could very easily be corrected just by understanding your emotions and the things that you need to heal. Your next one is Peridot. I hope I pronounced that right. Peridot. Life lessons. You can break free from recurring negative patterns by praying to know the lesson and blessing they contain. Okay, so this one here is telling you that if you can see a cycle going on in your life, like say you see a cycle repeating itself, but you don't want this cycle to keep repeating itself, what do you have to do to end this negative pattern? What do you have to do to stop things from happening the way that they're happening? Do you have to take a certain step that maybe you don't want to take, that you don't want to have to take, but you have to take, because that's the only way to stop the negative patterns from happening, right? So, for example, you might need to cut off a person. You might need to cut that person off from your life, period, forever, done. Because you can't change how a person chooses to behave towards you. That's their choice. The only thing you can do is change how you react to their choices. Okay. So if a person is coming at you and they're yelling, screaming, hollering, they're putting you down, or they're gaslighting you, or they're manipulating you, or they're hurting you in some way, and you tell them again and again and again that you are doing this and you are hurting me, and they don't show the initiative to want to stop what they're doing, right? Then it is time for you to tell yourself, do I want to continue to allow this? Or do I want to say, listen, I'm done. I'm done with this behavior. I'm not going to allow this again. You've pushed my buttons too many times. I've forgiven you so many times that you just think that it's a change of underwear kind of thing. This might be a situation where you just literally have to walk away from this person. You're going to have to just cut them out of your life, okay? Or if you're in a situation where, it's your job and you just feel drained every day and you feel sick every day and the money is just not worth it, then you might have to make the situation to walk away and find another job. You might have to start putting your resume in certain places, or asking the universe to open up doors for you to get you out of the situation that you're in. Maybe the atmosphere isn't healthy for you. Maybe the people that run the business, maybe they're not healthy for you. Whatever the situation is, you might be required to do something to stop the cycle. Okay. That's going to be your life lesson. What did you learn from this situation? I learned how to love myself more. What did you learn from this situation? I learned how to take my power back. What did you learn from this situation? I learned that I can't control outside choices, but I can control what I tolerate, right? Um, like those are all considered life lessons that you're learning. Okay. You can love unconditionally, but that doesn't mean that you're going to get unconditional love back from certain things, certain people, certain places, things like that. I mean, it just is what it is. So you got to look for the life lessons in situations like that. You don't want to hold on to the anger, the hate, the disappointment, the sadness. You want to end it with gratitude. I'm grateful that this job was here. I'm grateful that I learned these things. I'm grateful that I had the money to pay my bills. I'm grateful that I met the people that I met. You know, now it's time for me to move on. Right? Whatever the situation is, try to find gratitude in the closure. And then that actually gives you closure. Time does not give you closure. I know people say, oh, time heals all wounds. No, it does not. It I have seen people die and they still have the anger that they had when they were in their 20s because of a situation that happened in their 20s. And here they are 70 and they're still angry and bitter and mad at something that happened in their 20s because they never healed. They never saw the lesson. They never saw the lesson and left it go. So I don't believe my own opinion. I don't believe time heals all wounds. I think that if you do the work, that over time the wound becomes less and less painful. And over time, you don't respond to the situation once you do the healing work. But I feel like you have to do the healing work, because if you don't, then you're just carrying around those energies, and energies don't know time. Energies and frequencies don't know time. So if you're not doing the healing work within you, and you're not releasing the pain, and seeing things differently and allowing things to heal and facing it instead of running from it, then I don't believe that time heals all wounds. So in that situation, I would have to say use discernment over your own opinions. That's just my opinion, but I have learned that time heals when the work is also done in the process of the healing, right? So the main thing is your life lessons. What lessons are you learning from this situation? Looking at your closing card, we have smoky quartz, clearing negativity. Release negativity from within or around you. So, this card is all about releasing the negative energy that is being given to you, shown to you, put upon you, expressed to you. And for some of you, this could be spiritual. You might feel spiritual attacks coming at you. For some of you, you might feel, um, you could walk into a room and you can just feel that negative energy. Okay. So this is all about, allowing that negative energy to again release by simply stating, I cannot control how other people feel about me, but I can choose not to hold that energy. I send it back to sender, right? Any and all energies that are not for my highest good, I send back blessed and transmuted now. The reason why you send it back blessed is because you never want to send back the negative energy back to the person, because then you're going to get it back again and it's going to be just back and forth, right? But if you send the negative energy back to the person blessed, then that means that you're wishing them well even though they're wishing you blah, right? And if you send it back transformed, then you're asking the universe to take it and change it into something that is beneficial, right? Beneficial to the person, beneficial to the situation, whatever it is, right? And you may have to do that more than once. You may have to do it again and again and again until eventually you don't feel it anymore or it doesn't bother you anymore, right? But this negative energy, release negative energy. This negative energy, some people, I'm sorry, I'm just going to say some people are just, they're too full of negative energy that they cannot grasp the importance of positive energy. You have to have a balance. You can't walk around all day, with every single day being butterflies and roses. It doesn't work like that. We know that. That's not, people say, "Oh, you work with energy. You're such a positive person." Listen, I have my days, right? I have my days where I'm agitated, right? Let me make a cup of coffee and there's no coffee creamer. I'm going to be agitated, right? You There's no such thing as living in a positive mindset all the time, because if you are doing that, then you're not actually living in the present moment and in the present energies, because you're going to have that back and forth energy. The thing is how do you respond? Right? That's the thing. Like, when, a positive mindset isn't about seeing everything positive and the world is just, beautiful. A positive mindset is being aware that there are a lot of negative things in the world. You're aware of it, you understand it, but you're choosing to see the brighter side of things, right? You're choosing to see the rainbow that comes after the storm, right? Versus seeing the flood that the storm has caused. You're picking and choosing the positive things. So what this is saying is, acknowledge the negative. Don't blow it off. Acknowledge it. If it's there, acknowledge it, but acknowledge why it's there. Some people have a hard time. They think they're positive, but every time they speak, it comes out in such a negative way, that it can be very draining without them even realizing that they're doing it. And some people, it's because they haven't done the healing work. They have chose not to do the work. And so therefore they have this like negative mindset. And when you start to do the healing work within yourself, you catch that. When you start to say things in a negative way, you're attentive and you're like, "Oh, why am I saying that? Oh, I don't want to feel that way. I don't want to say it that way. I don't want to think that way." And so you are able to be proactive in how you speak. You're able to be proactive in how you respond, right? So you're taking your power back and you're being more attentive and more aware. So that's what this is saying. This is saying, to be aware of the people that may be throwing negative energy at you, but not actually aware that they're doing it. Or they're aware that they're doing it, but it's something that they choose to do, and they do it on such a high level that it's just not healthy for you to be around, right? Sometimes, you can love somebody, but it doesn't mean that their energies and their words and their process of things is the right energy for you, right? You might leave that person feeling depleted, tired, drained, emotionally just blah. Like and that means that their energy that they're functioning on isn't the right energy and isn't the right alignment for you. It doesn't mean that they're a bad person. It doesn't mean that they're not on the right path. It just means that the frequencies are so out of line. It's almost like, for example, if you go to the shoe store and you're a size 8 and you're in a hurry and you grab a box that says 8 on it and you're like, wow, I like these. These are nice. I got to go. And you get home and you find out that one shoe's an 8 and one shoe is a 4, right? One shoe is going to fit great because it's your size, and the other shoe, good luck with that, right? No matter what you do, you're just not going to make it fit, right? You're going to have to exchange that size 4 for the right shoe. And if you can't, then you're just going to have to go with a different shoe, right? And so that's basically the situation here. It's one of those situations where you can't make that size 4 into a size 8. It's a size 4. That's what it is, right? And it's the same thing with the situation with the negative energy. If it's not your energy, then you are not responsible for changing it, and you cannot change it unless it wants to be changed, right? If there's other factors playing a part, then you have to decide how much of your energy you're going to put into allowing this energy in your life, right? Maybe you need to rearrange your schedule so that you don't give that much attention to that energy anymore if it's not helping you. Okay, that's what this card is saying. It's saying that it is time to clear the negative energy, because you might be in a situation where the universe wants to raise your elevation. It wants to raise you. It wants to open up your heart, and it wants to raise you into a higher level of understanding and being and living. And you can't take that energy with you. If the universe wants you to do this, then you can't do this. It can't coincide together. Something has to give. So if you choose to hold on to that negative energy, then where the universe wants you to go and has a line for you to go, it's not going to happen, because the universe is not going to, like, that energy doesn't hold space for this energy. You can't have your cake and eat it too, kind of thing. So you're going to have to make choices, and they might not be choices that you want to make, but they're choices that, if you trust the universe, they will work out in the long run. The universe will show you how important it was for you to let go and to trust and to make the adjustments that needed to be made. Okay, so I hope this has helped you. Thank you so much for being here, and I will see you hopefully in the next reading. Bye.